Chichester Festival Theatre was built in 1962. 2012 we shut for a refurb for about 18 months. So we reopened again in 2014. On site we have two theatres. We have the Festival Theatre and the Minerva Theatre.
Chichester is unusual, and at the point that it was built and came into life in 1962, it was a highly unusual space. It was really very innovative, but it has its challenges because it is a thrust stage. So the implementation of the system is complex and highly distributed.
When I came to Chichester Festival Theatre, we didn't have any EM product in-house, but we were starting to see it come through with touring shows as well. And that was kind of our sort of introduction to them as such in this venue.
As part of the refurb in 2014, we needed to add more speakers to cover our balcony areas. It was a little bit of a phased development, and we knew what EM Acoustics could do from our previous purchase when we came back post-refurb.
One of the reasons that the system works so well in what actually could be termed quite a difficult room for sound is rooted in our obsession about the first arrival. If the first sound arrival to the audience's ears is clean and tidy, then a lot of problems go away.
Whilst we have a house speaker system, none of our productions are fixed. 95% of the time the designers leave the speakers where they are unless there is a specific reason. So for example, on the current show, Oliver, we've not used our Halo B. Primary reason for that was because the band are actually substage in the orchestra pit.
The designer, Adam Fisher, has augmented the overhead system with extra boxes, and that's exactly what we were looking for. He's also changed the waveguide orientation on the boxes per the demands of the show. So that was uppermost in our minds when we were developing the system with the sound team here, making sure that they had something that was going to cover more or less every eventuality. And that has proven to be the case.
So doing Oliver at Chichester, they have a huge EM system based around the R10 already in-house, and knowing that, we knew we were going to have to build a bigger system around that. So we introduced some R5 speakers, some R8 speakers. It's a tricky venue because it's in the round, but the dispersion characteristics of the R series suited it perfectly.
For much of the year we're producing our own shows, and we're relying heavily on our house rig to be the system that everyone's using. We are a slightly unusual venue in the layout of the room, etc., and a lot of people come in not knowing what to expect, but they always walk away happy.
We've had people come up and say that it's the best sounding thing they've heard in this theatre, which is a wonderful comment, and people continuously coming up to the desk and saying how lovely it sounds and incredible it sounds. I think especially for this space, it's hard to get something to sound as like it does.
We've had really, really positive responses from everybody that's used the system here, to the extent that touring musicals that come through the theatre, repeatedly people have not installed the touring system that they have on the truck, and that's the best possible compliment anybody can pay.
In Chichester on Oliver, we used DPA hairline mics, and normally in that sort of environment on a thrust stage, gain before feedback is a massive problem, but we didn't have any problems with the R series. It gave us massive amounts of headroom, and it became quite an amplified show, but still maintained its natural sound.
The relationship between the sound team here and the theatre and us at EM has been really productive and really fruitful, and that's the way we like to play it. We like to make sure that we're collaborating with the people that install our systems and use our systems. To us at EM, a sale is never a dry sale. There's no such thing. We will be with people who use and purchase our equipment right the way through, all the way along their journey.
Our relationship with EM Acoustics started with the pedigree of the EMS series, the 51s and the 61s, has just led us to stay where we are with those. It helps that they are a British manufacturer. We've been on the factory tour, we've seen how they make pretty much everything in-house. Whilst there is an amount of brand snobbery that goes on within the industry, EM Acoustics are now highly respected in what they do, and we're quite happy to have their speaker systems installed in our venues.
So with it going to the West End and to the Guildford, it's a very different space, very different setup. We're still maintaining our R series system, delays through and through, and trying to keep that sonic signature from Chichester into the West End, and I know those speakers will suit that space perfectly.